Hello and welcome back to another Orange Coast College Mathematics video. In this video, we're going to be talking about writing the equations of parabolas in vertex form and in general form. So, first off, if we're talking about vertex form, then the equation is going to look like y equals a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k, where h and k come from the vertex and x and y are coming from a point on the graph. So let's go ahead and look at number 1 and try to find the vertex form of a parabolic equation using this vertex and this point. So let's set up our equation. So we have y is equal to a times x minus h quantity squared plus k. Now we have everything besides a. So what we can do is we can plug in both the vertex and our point in order to figure out what a is. So let's go ahead and try that. So in this case, our vertex is going to be hk, so h is equal to 0 and k is equal to 5, and then our point xy, x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 9. So let's go ahead and start plugging things in. So we know that y is equal to 9. This is going to be equal to a times x. Well, in this case, x is going to be equal to 2, and then we're subtracting h, which is 0, and then we have quantity squared, and then we're adding k, which is 5. We can kind of simplify this out. In parentheses, we have 2 minus 0, so that's just going to be 2. Now 2 squared is going to be 4. So we'll have 9 is equal to 4 times a plus 5. We can then subtract 5 over, and so we'll have 9 minus 5 is equal to 4 equals 4 times a. Divide both sides by 4, and we're going to get that a is equal to 1. Now that I know what a is, I can actually go back to my vertex form and plug everything in accordingly. So we have y is equal to 1 times x minus 0, quantity squared, and then plus k, which is 5. This is my vertex form, but we can kind of clean this up a little bit. Simplifying this out, we're going to have y is equal to x squared plus 5. So let's go ahead and check out number 2. We're still trying to find the vertex form, so let's go ahead and do the same strategy. We have y is equal to a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. And in this case, h is going to be negative 1, k is going to be 2, and then x is equal to 1, and then y is equal to 14. So let's go ahead and start plugging in some values. So we know that 14 is going to be equal to a times x in this case is 1, and then we're subtracting negative 1, and then quantity squared, and then we're adding k, so plus 2. Now 1 minus negative 1 is going to be 1 plus 1 because it's a double negative. And so in parentheses, it's actually going to be 2 squared. 2 squared is going to be 4. So this then becomes 14 equals a times 4, and then plus 2. So I can subtract 2 from both sides, and we're going to get that 12 is equal to 4 times a, and then we can divide both sides by 4. So we'll get that 3 is equal to a. Now we can go ahead and start plugging things into our vertex form equation. So we'll have y is equal to 3 times x plus 1, quantity squared, and then we're adding k, so plus 2. And that is our final answer. As something to point out, this plus 1 is coming from the minus negative 1. Now, for numbers 3 and 4, we're going to be wanting to find the general form of this parabola. And the general form is going to look like y equals a times x squared plus b times x plus c, where a, b, and c are all just constants. Now, in order to do this, we can go into our vertex form using the same strategy we did for numbers 1 and 2, and then we can just expand everything out in order to get our general form. So again, let's write our equation. Y is equal to a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. Now, in this case, h is equal to 1, k is equal to 3, x is equal to 2, and y is equal to negative 1. Now, let's go ahead and do the same strategy. So negative 1 is going to be equal to a times, in this case, x is going to be equal to 2. And we have minus h, so we have minus 1, quantity squared, and then plus 3. Now 2 minus 1 is just 1, and 1 squared is also 1. So we're really just left with negative 1 is equal to a plus 3. Subtracting 3 for both sides, we get that a is equal to negative 4. Now, plugging it back into our equation, we have that y is equal to negative 4 times x minus 1, quantity squared, and then plus 3. From here, we can expand this out and then distribute later. And so, we get y is equal to negative 4 times x squared minus 2x plus 1, and then plus 3. So now let's go ahead and distribute our negative 4. So we get negative 4x squared plus 8x minus 4, and then plus 3. And then we can combine like terms to get our final answer of negative 4x squared plus 8x minus 1. So again, for number 4, we're going to use the same strategy. We're going to look at vertex form and then expand out. So let's go ahead and write our equation. Y is equal to a times x minus h, quantity squared, plus k. In this case, h is equal to 4, k is equal to 1, x is equal to 0, and y is equal to 9. So let's go ahead and plug some stuff in. So we have 9 is equal to a times, x is 0 in this case, and then we have minus 4, quantity squared, and then plus 1. 0 minus 4 is negative 4, and negative 4 squared is going to be 16. So this then becomes 9 equals 16a plus 1. We subtract 1 from both sides, and we get 8 is equal to 16a. Dividing both sides by 16, we're going to see that a is equal to 1/2. Now let's plug this back into our equation, and we see that we have y equals 1/2 times x minus 4, quantity squared, and then plus 1. From here, we can expand out, and so we get y is equal to 1/2 times x squared minus 8x plus 16, and then plus 1. We can then distribute our 1/2, and so we get y is equal to 1/2 x squared minus 4x plus 8, and then plus 1. Now we can go ahead and combine like terms to get our final answer of 1/2 x squared minus 4x plus 9. Well, that's going to do it for this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.